In today's episode of Biz Jet TV, we are going to be covering the balloon that was shot down over the US and the other unidentified flying objects. Everyone's talking about it. People have been asking me, well, what's your take on this whole thing? So we're going to delve into this today on Biz Jet TV and analyse what it is, because, you know, these things were sitting up at 40,000 feet. They're a hazard to air travel, and so it's of interest to those that are flying with their private jets around the world that if you suddenly see this strange object in the sky, you have to dodge it. And that's really, really important. Now, in fact, in talking about this, you know, when you are up at 37, 39 or 45,000 feet and you are in the cruise, very often the pilots aren't looking out the window. They may be chatting to each other. One's maybe reading the newspaper. The other one's looking at the instruments, talking over the radio. Because, let's face it, when you're up at 45,000 feet, in particular, you know, at 40,000 feet, which one of the objects was at, there isn't much air traffic because all the airline traffic is flying between 33 to 39,000 feet. So if you're up at 45,000 feet, the chances of you encountering another aircraft are very remote. So, and having thousands of hours as a pilot myself, I'm telling you, when I'm sitting up there at 45,000 feet, I'm not really looking that much out the window. I mean, now and again, and, you know, you're moving fast through the sky, and suddenly this object's there, and if you crash into an object, you know, at that altitude, it could be catastrophic. So I get why they took these objects out of the sky, but at least they're telling us they don't know what they are. Now, the balloon crossed America. They let it cross America and then they shot it down. The excuse the generals are saying is if they shot it down before over land, it could have been dangerous. I don't think so. It was over Montana. I mean, come on, there aren't that many people living in Montana. They could have easily shot it down there. I mean, if it is or was a Chinese spy satellite, it's probably managed to get all the information it needed and sent it back to China. So that's not good. They're saying that there are gaps in the American air defense system. And that was the first thing, was the balloon. And then suddenly they found these other objects over Canadian airspace and US airspace, which they then shot down. And now apparently there's one in Chinese airspace. So we're not quite sure what these things are. Now, some people, even CNN said they are of extraterrestrial origin. So now we're talking aliens from another planet. And on the alien thing, now, if it is an alien spacecraft that we shot down, or one of their scout ships, or whatever it may be, this is what we need to think about. Now, if it is an alien ship, they've obviously traveled great distance to get here. And they got here before we got to where they come from. So chances are their technology is a lot more advanced than ours. So we don't really want to be shooting their craft out of the sky. It's a bit like if you're a small, not very strong guy, you're not going to go and challenge a big athletic guy to a fight, because you're going to get thrashed. So same here. We don't want to be shooting down objects of extraterrestrial origin, because we're not sending a good message to these aliens, assuming they are aliens. I don't think they're alien spacecraft. What I think it probably is, it's some inventor of some sort have been tinkering around in their garage and come up with some form of new flying machine and decided to take it for a spin or send it for a spin. And it was sitting up there, and they probably built 2 or 3 of these things, and then suddenly it got shot down. That's my take on this. Now, nobody's saying this on the news. Everybody seems to be going down the alien route, and they said, oh, the aliens are coming, blah, 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 blah. Now, do I believe in aliens? Well, I look at the stars at night, and when I'm flying a plane, and I say to myself, well, there's lots of other worlds out there. NASA have said that. They've discovered lots of planets that can inhabit human people. So there are probably other people that live on these planets. Now, have these other people developed the technology to come here? Probably. I have never seen any of them. I've never met any of them. I've seen a couple of unidentified flying objects in my time as a pilot. But and I'm not sure what they were. They were lights in the sky. But most of the time, when people see unidentified flying objects, they are actually experimental aircraft. So, in 99% of the cases. So, that's, and I think in this case, it was either some form of experimental aircraft built by the Chinese or the Russians, or it was somebody that was geeking away in the garage, launched their flying machine, and it went up to 40,000 feet and was obstructing air traffic. That's what I think we're looking at here. So, of course, you're flying around in your private jet. Make sure, if you're a pilot and you're watching this, keep your eyes open, even at 45,000 feet. You never know these days. You could have one of these strange objects flying around. So keep your eyes open all the time. And if you're a guy buying a private jet or own a private jet, make sure your pilots keep an eye out when they're up at altitude. And let's get the comments going here and conversation going. What do you think? What's your take on these unidentified flying objects that were taken out of the sky by the US military? What's your take? Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and give me a super thanks if you liked it too. Much appreciated. Keep the channel going here, and if you haven't subscribed to Biz Jet TV, subscribe, and also check out this other video I did recently about the UFO phenomena and interview I did with this person about this subject. And that's all from Fabrizio Poli on Biz Jet TV, and I'll see you in the next one.